Hello, Joanne Bonnie Gaba here from freedommompreneurbydesign.com. And in today's video, I'm going to review and summarize my key points from reading this great book called Currency Wars. Now, really quickly, if you are new to my videos or channel, what you can expect is videos to help you get started quickly and effectively here with video marketing or YouTube video blogging. I'm doing a reading a book a week challenge, so you'll see a lot of book reviews. I do also a lot of life hacks and just share my life lessons as I live my life. And so if you find value in that content, I welcome you to hit the subscribe button or also hit the bell button below so you'll be notified whenever I go live or upload a new video. So one of my key focus areas for this year is financial education. It's my belief that we are really in a critical stage globally. And the best thing that I can do and what I'd recommend for you to do is educate yourself as much as possible. And this is a book that I highly recommend. I give it 2 thumbs up to help us understand what's happening globally, fiscally, and financially. I'm going to try and keep this video quite short. So, the key takeaways that I got from this book were, at the end of the day, right now, the money that we are using is like monopoly money because it's money being printed by almost every government globally, and it has no intrinsic value. And in fact, in some cases, the value of the paper that the money is being printed on is worth more than the money. So one of the great things about this book is at the beginning of the book, there is a story about the gentleman, James Rickards, being invited to take part in a simulated currency war, where he was asked to be on a team that uses currency as a weapon in combat globally. So it is something that's being used, maybe not as visible to you, but it is, and it is possible. And he goes through the scenario in the book, and he also shows that while they were doing the simulation, a parallel, some of the events that they pretended to do happened in real life. Later in the book after that, but midway to almost to the end of the book, there's a lot, it becomes a little bit dense. This is not a book I read in a week. It took me at least 2 weeks to read it. And that's because it becomes very dense going through fiscal history. It's really good. And I would encourage you to read that content, even though it might be a little bit hard to read, because it really opens your eyes to what happened with how money was created, how money was used in the World War, and how we moved from money having value and tied to a gold standard to now governments printing it willy-nilly. And in fact, the issues we have in our current fiscal environment globally is liquidity, and the increasing in printing in money isn't helping the problem, right? Just have some notes here that I want to refer to while I'm chatting. So, first of all, using currency as a weapon of war is possible, and he shows that in the book. Second of all, we are in an age of what we call fiat currency, which basically means it's fake. And that might be hard to get through if this is the first time you're hearing about fiat currency, but read the book, Google it online. There's a lot of valid history and valid technical support for why this money now, having not tied to the gold standard as it is now pretty much worth very little. Talks about the solvency crisis, and because the US government and the Canadian government where I live, we're printing money, it's causing inflation, and inflation in ridiculous ways that is now impacting other countries who aren't printing money, because that money that's being printed is looking for returns globally. I found one of the other key takeaways that I want to end with is that, when we're talking about fiscal or looking at economic trends and whatnot, you hear a lot about the bell curve. And later on at the back of the book, he gets into a little bit more technical analysis and provides evidence against the bell curve being the best analysis tool for our current fiscal environment, and instead uses this, what I call the long tail curve, where it's like a little L, and basically simulates that there's a large volume of small transactions that have little impact, and then there's very few major transactions that have huge impact, and then there's a lot in between, right? And the fact is that these are also all random. A really great example I want to end with is we talked about snowflakes on a hill and how it can cause an avalanche in some cases, or it could just stop and just be a snowflake landing on a hill. Each snowflake is the same size. Each snowflake has the same journey falling from the sky and land on the mountain. But depending on the environment that it touches the mountain on, maybe it hits critical mass at that point and it causes a few pebbles to slide. Maybe it doesn't, it just lands and the world keeps on going. Or maybe it lands and it causes more than a few pebbles, it causes an avalanche. But each snowflake is the same size, it came from the same path, but the outcome is randomly different and huge invariance. So thumbs up, really recommend this for a book to read in 2018 if you're looking to financially educate yourself. Have you read it yourself? What did you think? Is there a key point that you took out that maybe I didn't mention that I should have? Leave it in the comments below and feel free to join me in reading a book a week challenge. I'll see you in my next video.